Hey guys! So over the course of this summer I have acquired quite a few books, probably more than I normally would, and I thought it was about time that I did another book haul. If you saw my recent life update video, you know that I am currently working with a website called April Magazine to write monthly book reviews on books by Asian and Asian American female authors, so a lot of these books apply to that. And I'm going to go ahead and start off with the used books and get to the shiny new ones at the end. So starting off with used books, I picked up a few immediately from my used bookstore that I could use for these monthly book reviews. The first of which was The Buddha in the Attic by Julie Otsuka. Now, unfortunately, I don't know a whole lot about some of these books, this being one of them. I do know this is about Japanese picture brides who were brought over to America from Japan, and I know this one takes place in San Francisco, but other than that, that's kind of all I know. I haven't really heard a whole lot about Julie Otsuka. I haven't heard anything bad necessarily, just not a whole lot at all. I do know that she has won the Faulkner Award for this book in particular, so hopefully I like it, and if I don't, it is quite short, so it won't be much skin off my back. Then I also picked up Oliver Creation by Ruth Ozeki in this Penguin edition, which matches my edition of My Year of Meats, so they look very nice next to each other on my shelves. Now this is a Ruth Ozeki novel I know pretty much nothing about. I think it's about potatoes or potatoes factor into the story at some point because they are on the cover, but what I do know is that this is not people's favorite Ozeki. I know that A Tale for the Time Being tends to be the overwhelming favorite of her novels, so I haven't heard a whole lot about this, obviously because I don't remember a lot about it. But I'm gonna stop rambling now. I look forward to reading this, but I don't know when I will because this is quite chunky. This one is just over 400 pages. Then I was visiting family in San Francisco, and as they do occasionally, they were passing on books that they have read and didn't want anymore, so I grabbed a few, the first of which was The Portrait of a Lady by Henry James. Now I know Henry James tends to be kind of a love him or hate him author. I actually really like his work, and if you don't believe me, this is my copy of his short stories. As you can see, I have read this quite a few times. I've written quite a few essays on this, and I actually really enjoy his writing. Again, I don't know a whole lot about this one other than this is probably one of James's more famous or well-known novels. I know this is about a young American girl or young woman who kind of debuts in Europe and all the shenanigans that follow her debut in Europe, so we shall see. Then the other book I grabbed was this very beautiful edition of A Room with a View by E.M. Forster. This is published by Vintage Classics, which is why it is so darn beautiful. Now I also own Howard's End by E.M. Forster, and I have not read that yet, so I will probably try and get to that one before I get to this, but I have wanted to watch the film of this with Helena Bonham Carter for a very long time and told myself that I need to read the book first. So one step closer. Then moving on to the shiny new books, I guess I'll start off with this one. This is The Woman Warrior by Maxine Hong Kingston, and yes, I actually featured this in my last book haul because my brother gave me his very beat up copy, and it was just so awful. I couldn't take blog pictures of it, so I went out and bought myself a new one. This was phenomenal. I just finished reading this last week. This is a book unlike any I've ever read before. I feel like I'm saying that a lot this year, but it's true. This is memoir mixed with myth, mixed with dreams, mixed with poetry, and it's really beautiful, and it's kind of a cornerstone of Asian American literature, and I would highly suggest you all go out and check this out if you haven't read it already. Then into the book that I'm currently reading, that is Number 9 Dream by David Mitchell. I had checked this one out of the library back at the end of June and had to return it before I went on my trip, and yeah, I managed to get myself a copy. So I'm filming this during Bout of Books right now, and I am currently in the middle. I'm really enjoying this. It's weird. I don't know if I will be able to review this because it's definitely a weird one in the vein of Haruki Murakami. But yeah, I'm very much enjoying this, and I actually really like this cover. Then this next one I'm really excited to show you guys, and that is Catherine Mansfield's The Garden Party and Other Stories, which was published by Echo Press. This is an extraordinarily beautiful book. I almost couldn't get it out there. And if you follow Holly Dunn Design, or Holly, you have seen this before, I'm sure. This is the cover that she designed, and I have never actually read Katherine Mansfield. I'd never heard of her before I started watching Holly's channel, but I basically bought this book because I wanted to support fellow booktubers' endeavors in the publishing world, and come on, you guys, like, this is not doing it justice, but it is so pretty. From what I understand, Katherine Mansfield is a New Zealand author who actually left New Zealand at quite a young age and kind of had this very tumultuous, scandalous life, and I'm just very intrigued to read some of her stories. This next book I will be reviewing in September for April Magazine, and that is Do Not Say We Have Nothing by Madeleine Tien. I'm just gonna leave it at that. As this annoying printed on sticker says, this has been longlisted for the 2016 Man Booker Prize, and I'm very intrigued to read this. This is, from what I understand, a story of a single family, and it kind of goes through the Chinese Cultural Revolution and through the generations, the subsequent generations, and we just see the after effects of the revolution on this one family, and it sounds very interesting. It's quite a hefty book. It is about 466 pages in this edition, and I'm very intrigued to read this one. I may actually do a separate video review on this as well, depending on how I get on with it, but regardless, there will be a review of this on April Magazine midway through September, so I will tweet out the link when it goes live. Finally, this last book is my next pick for the Blogging for Books program, and that is Avenue of Spies by Alex Kershaw, with a subtitle saying The True Story of Terror, Espionage, and One American Family's Resistance. Heroic resistance in Nazi-occupied Paris. I guess that pretty much gave it away, but from what I understand, this is about an American doctor and his family who are living in Paris during World War II, and kind of the role they end up playing with American intelligence during the war. So I'm very intrigued to read this one. I kind of picked it when I was having a revived love affair with Man from U.N.C.L.E. and was just feeling all of the spy thriller vibes, so hopefully this one does not disappoint. Actually, I don't know if you've noticed, but most of my Blogging for Books picks have been nonfiction reads, and none of them have disappointed me so far, so I have high expectations for this one. So these are all of the books that I have managed to acquire this summer, and I am very much looking forward to getting to them all. I feel like I've really hit my stride book buying wise, which sounds weird, but I feel like I've really been able to start picking books that I know I'm gonna like, and I'm not, you know, spending money on kind of like what if books. So I'm really expecting to like all of these, and I'm sure I will be reviewing most of them in the future. And while I'm definitely not going on a hard and fast book buying ban or anything, these are probably going to be the last books that I purchase for myself between now and Christmas, simply because I own so many unread books on my shelves that I'm starting to feel a little guilty that I'm still acquiring new things and not reading what I own. So hopefully I will be getting a lot of previously owned reads accomplished between now and the end of the year. That being said, I'm sure I will have a few sneaky publisher review copies in between now and then, so who knows, maybe I will have to do a fall haul. Probably not, hopefully not, but we shall see. Anyways, that's all I have for today's video, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next one. Bye! Pretty!